This is the Jenkins GSoC 2025 office hours. Today is July 2nd. So let's just go ahead and get started with our status updates from each project, as I'm already late. So I think first one, Renuk. So is Renuk on? I can't see.
Hello, am I
Yeah.
audible?
Yes.
You are.
Hi everyone, hope you are doing good. So some of the last week updates are we are able to add a CLI option to opt out of the metadata feature. So we are using a skip metadata CLI option to not use the metadata feature. So for the dry run, it just collects metadata locally and doesn't push it to the repository. And for the normal run, it collects and pushes to the repository as we do for the plugin modernization. And the skip metadata one that I added will disable both of them. So this feature is useful for testing and development purposes when we don't need to add an unnecessary step for collecting and pushing the metadata. And also, we did a cleanup of the metadata workflow. So previously when we were using any action, we were referencing the version tag of it, but due to some supply chain attacks, for best security practices, we are using the commit sha, we need to bump it later on. And also, we shifted the workflow implementation to the CLI tool, making it a reusable workflow that is being called in the metadata repository because we want all the implementation to be on the project. And we can later, we are also referencing it to when in the metadata repository, we are referencing the implementation there. And for the metadata workflow, the actions bot makes a PR daily via cron job. And for the merge, we are leaving it to the maintainer now, as Valentin suggested. And also, we can track the migration status, that is for the plugin modernization, which the recipe fails or succeeds. So that is a useful information as well. And for the next week, I will be focusing on consolidating the metadata to make reports, which will be further consumed by the Jenkins report and statistics talent. So yeah, that's all pretty much about it. Thank you.
Thanks, Renuk. Is Valentin on?
No, he's not able to join today.
Okay. Okay.
But
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
can say a few things about what happened last week and what will happen next week. So far, so good. We're happy with the outcome of the last week. Everything is going well, and we still have lots of things to discover and experiment with, but that should be good. Yeah, there is no blocker. Everything is running smoothly, and we are progressing, and we're not late. So all is good.
Awesome. That's a welcoming message to hear. Thanks, Bruno. Any questions? Does anybody have questions for Renuk or Bruno? Okay, let's move on then. Birji.
So hello everyone, am I audible?
Yes, you are.
So I hope all are doing good. About the last week, I can say there were lots of work done. So first up, we have published both the developer mailing list email and a discourse post explaining why we are moving away from Gatsby, and now we are using White for non-version content. Also for the white repo, I have discussed with my mentors and they had also accepted about using a layered brand strategy, like basically building is new PR on top of the last working one to avoid any Mars conflict later on and keep things clean. And in terms of actual page migration, I can say there were more than 10 plus pages migrated last week to white. They were first up, the roadmap page was migrated, then the download page was also migrated, and then I have migrated the event page, including its sub pages like Jam, Hacktoberfest, Contributor Submit, all are migrated. And among others, they are award page, praise page, code of conduct page, artwork page, and participate and contribute page. And all of the pages, as I have also shared in our Slack channel, it almost matched 95 to 97% similar to that of Jenkins.io site. And for tracking some of new issues like in the Endora part, like correction of some footer links, and also following up on our navbar PR. For the footer links, I have open an issue to track it. And apart from that, I opened two PR. One was for adding social media links in the footer that was discussed doing our toxic meet during last time among me and Chris. And apart from then, two more PRs were opened for fixing the footers. One in the Jenkins IO components repo, and one supplement PR in the docs repo. And I think that's wrap up most of the work done from my end and this week. Thanks.
Thanks, Virgie. Chris, any additional thoughts?
I really like the progress for this project. And also, I think given time, like because like we work on also like we're working the UI UX for the entire site. I think time wise we should be okay. But kind of like it could still be kind of tight because we still need to get some catching up work done later on before we can migrate properly. So and I think it's like we're good.
Awesome. Okay, let's move on to Chirag.
Hello everyone, I hope you are doing fine. So for this week's update, like I was working on making a new plan, which we'll be like moving forward to. Instead of the traditional fine-tuning LLM approach, we are now going to like make an agentic architecture, which can be used by like using various kind of APIs. We will be offering like a lot of API providers like Rock, OpenAI, Cloud, and everything. Also, we will also like add a part in it where people can use their own hosted LLMs. Like we can add a functionality to be able to use PLMs, which is like it's kind of like a system which is able to like help you um hosting a LLM, and that too on like different devices. Like you can use multiple devices at once. So it's gonna be really helpful for everyone. And also like providing free LLM providers will help like make it accessible for everyone. They won't have to spend anything on it. So there are like a few updates that we have made for the current prototype, which are like adding a requirement file. The other one is like moving the dependency on the fuzz. Now we are going to use the standard library, and also like replacing all the print statement with logging. And it's like it was suggested to me by mentors. So hence we did that. Also, we are going to use templates instead of the intent forms that we had earlier, and making a factory method for agents instead of like importing them. Now we can like in the factory method, we can give the API key, the name of the model that we want to use, and other things as well. And later on, we will also specify which the LM provider we are going to use for the agent as well. We have made about 10 test cases, which will be used to like test the current capabilities of the agent, which will be reviewed by the mentors, and like they will be like giving the opinion if the prompt is working fine or if the agent is helpful or not. Other than that, I have been exploring some front-end options which can be used for like serving the agent. That's
Great.
all from my side.
Great, thank you. Chris, additional comments?
So the progress of this project has been great, except like we've been making a lot of changes for in terms of developments over the past few weeks. So I think like that like now we're going to work on a new plan with the multi-agent approach, which is going to be a lot easier for us to like assess the project moving to the second half of the coding period. And I think like I like what's been done so far. So I think progress is good. Yeah.
Great. Giovanni,
Hello, can you hear me?
yes.
I hope you are all doing fine. And this week I've continued the work on the unit tests for the backend, and I completed the one on the API package, and I just added another PR for covering another little part on a class. And then I also worked on the other packages in another PR. And recently, yesterday, I started the work on the front end for the unit tests, and success in the future, I will continue with the integration test. And I also opened some issues just to track some small things like warnings and UI improvements. And with my mentors last week, we discussed that before the midterm evaluation, I plan to complete the testing, including the integration one, and to work on some little enhancements on automation flows and some documentation. And for me this week, it's everything.
Thanks, Giovanni. V or Chris, additional comments?
So, hey everyone. So far everything is going pretty well and no blockers from our side. Everything is pretty fine.
Good. Maeve.
Hi everyone. So in the last week, so first I updated a comprehensive document on the plugin, focusing on the existing features to improve the user's understanding and develop developers onboarding. I also successfully implemented and locally tested an end-to-end pipeline using a kind cluster, and it was based on the Jenkins rules. The pipeline sort of executed a simple task run through a new custom pipeline step that I created, so it should allow a raw YAML definitions of tech resources to be executed directly in the Jenkins pipeline. However, when I'm trying to use the same step in the real Jenkins pipeline, I have some errors suggest like no such DSL method found. So I'm currently working on that, and I should finish it soon, and there will be a I will open a PR with an end-to-end test include all the Tecton features soon. Last week I and Bib have also have a discussion. We used that time to like sort of have a test on my Jenkins, on my understanding of the Jenkins plugin development. We also reviewed the code base together, and we think that we might want to migrate the plugin UI from Jelly to React. Some of the reason is that the Jelly UI is pretty tight, and we also saw that some of the other Jenkins plugin use React. So we can use the resource from Jenkins to develop develop this part. And yeah, this can lead to a good blog post about migrating from Jelly to React. And that's pretty much what I did.
Thanks, Maeve. Vihab, is he on the line?
I don't think so, but I can speak a little bit
Okay.
about the project. So things like we're taking this project step by step, which is good. And I think we are still on target, which is good to know. And for the Jade React part, I think it's interesting because like that may help other plugins to migrate as well. But I have used both, but I personally prefer React more, so that's my 2 cents.
Thanks, Chris. Are there any questions that anybody has for like our GSoC contributors or our mentors or general processes, dates, and things like that? Just want to open it up to questions now. Okay, no questions. So I have drafted the midterm presentation. You guys, everybody should have access, everybody meaning GSoC contributors and our lead mentors and org admins should have access to the presentation. So please get your slides in by July 22nd. So next week, I will make the public announcement via Meetup about the presentation, our midterm presentation, and plan for 10 minutes for each contributors. Okay, so that includes questions. We've had some project ideas in the past where we've had a lot of questions, and there's some that not many questions. So, but prepared your materials. I know that in case you're wondering how much slides that you need, it really depends up to each project idea and contributors. So how much communications you want to send out, or so that's up to you. Okay, but you'd have about 10 minutes we have 10 minutes for each project ideas. Are there any questions from anybody for me about the midterm presentation? We will not do a practice run, so we will all log in about 30 minutes prior to the schedule time, just so that everybody can test out their audio and their visual. And if you have demos, I should be able to see that as from your slides. So once we have demos, I will switch the screen sharing to the presenter.
Yeah, but definitely you want to rehearse first all alone and with a stopwatch, so you know that you won't do anything longer than 10 minutes. Then you can also do it with friends if some friends can endure your presentation. Just kidding. And then don't hesitate to call your mentors in order to rehearse with a mentor in front of you, because it will help. Nonetheless, it will give you some feedback and you could then get a better presentation.
Thanks, Bruno.
You're welcome.
Okay. No questions from anybody. But if anything comes up, feel free to Slack me, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. Okay, we'll see you each other again next week. Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you,
Bye.
Ethan.
Bye.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.